Welcome to this podcast on natural law and consciousness, where we explore ancient and hidden knowledge, natural law, and the inner workings of the human mind, and then apply this knowledge to the problems that we face collectively as humanity, and then provide practical solutions. I wish to acknowledge Mark Passio in his podcast, What on Earth is Happening, for the valuable knowledge in this presentation. This is the sixth and final episode on religion in this series on natural law and consciousness. Now, Christianity is the primary religion of the Western civilization, and we can correlate Christianity to the left hemisphere according to the hermetic principles of correspondence, as above, so below. The Western Hemisphere can correlate to the left hemisphere of the brain, and this is the predominant aspects of the left brain, which are masculine. The Earth has a male dominator aspect to it, ruling over it, and the United States of America is the most dominant, aggressive culture in the Western Hemisphere. The United States has become like the policeman to the world, the biggest militarized aggressor of the black or hidden world government. The international banking cartels control government worldwide, and America is its lapdog. America attacks when countries don't align with what the occultists want and the international banking cartel's agenda. They send America to do their dirty work for them. So, Western cultures have become like the left brain gone haywire, corresponding to the brain's left temporal lobe. And this aspect is purely male dominator, the left side of the neocortex. Now, the right side of the brain is needed to counterbalance the left brain's imbalance with creativity, nurturing, and imagination. A lack of counterbalance will result in the personality becoming male-dominated and controlling. The R complex will rule it, which is the lowest part of the base brain. When this imbalance towards the left hemisphere becomes chronic, the R complex of the brain will eventually rule the personality. Someone will become a male dominator. They will become obsessed with control, materialistic, and obsessed with survival. And this is the lowest form of consciousness. It doesn't consider compassion or any emotional considerations. It's a psychopathic personality. Now, Christianity is the major religion in Western civilization. Now, let's suppose we correlate the planet's Western Hemisphere to the brain's left hemisphere. In that case, we can see that the predominant aspects to the left brain are masculine solar qualities, the elements of consciousness that are solar, aggressive, active, dominant, logical, and linear. There's no balance or counterbalance of the left to the right side of the brain, which is creativity, intuition, nurturing, the feminine qualities, imagination. The passive aspects of the personality will become male-dominated and controlling because the R complex of the brain, which is the lowest part of the brain, will rule over it. So Islam is a religion of the feminine lunar goddess. Islam is symbolically depicted with an inverted triangle known as the chalice. This is the lunar aspects of consciousness, which are passive, feminine, intuitive, and creative. These feminine qualities are essential in our society, which has become imbalanced towards the male-dominated consciousness. These aspects of the brain keep people in an unquestioning mode. They're not developing the positive parts of the right brain. They don't question authority or stand up for themselves. We will escape the mess that we're in using the right brain's imagination and creative power. With that in mind, let's look geographically at where Islam is spread. It's spread in the Eastern Hemisphere of the earth. Buddhism and Hinduism are significant, but Islam is the biggest religion of the Western Hemisphere and has adopted the male, solar, masculine, dominant-based aspects of the sun, the law-obsessed Old Testament male dominant father, God. So we see that the right hemisphere of the earth is the predominant religion, with the lunar cult religion based on submission to God. Yet the word Islam means submission to God. In Islam, the passive qualities of the right brain have gone haywire, expressing as a dogmatic, non-questioning religious aspects of Islam. So let's look at the theory of correspondence, as above so below, as it relates to the major world religions, specifically to the human brain, which is the earth itself. Now, the brain relates to a living system of the earth, like a human brain. As many of the consciousnesses that comprise the totality of what people think and how they behave, you'll see patterns unfold that correspond to how the brain operates, and you'll see that how these patterns unfold on a large scale that reflects what is happening on a smaller scale. Now, the Middle East is where Western civilization, or the left brain of the earth, symbolically gets most of its oil. That would place the Middle East at the back of the head, the cerebellum, which is the R complex behind the brain. This R complex part of the brain, which is where the brainstem and cerebellum form, the R complex, delegates motor skills to the body. This part of the brain conducts motor reflexes and helps us to move more correctly when we command, and controls respiration. So, what makes transportation possible on a large scale for people? For most people, it is oil being extracted from the Middle East. On a large scale, the Earth is powered by the R complex of the global Earth brain. Just like on a smaller scale, people are dominated by the R complex of their brain, the powers of consciousness of people of this Earth. And that is why we're still on an oil economy as our primary method of energy production. This is why we're so addicted to oil. It's purely survivalist, instinctive, repetitive, ritualized, perpetual thinking movements. And these are all R complex behaviors. It's a difficult concept to conceptualize, but try to think of it as if you're comparing these things on a small scale to what's happening on a large scale. The left brain is attacking the right brain, taking over control of the hindbrain of the earth. And what it wants to perpetuate is being control of the whole, keeping us in this energy paradigm of oil from the Middle East.